Now here in lesson 5, what we're going to do is we're going to actually take all of those skills that we just learned and apply them to actually setting up a full sound system. So we're going to go through each mixer here and how to get a signal coming into the mixer as well as going out to a main speaker. We're going to pop overhead so we can get a better look at doing that. Now we're going to start with this larger of the mixers that I have here. And this is a Behringer X32 model. It has 32 different XLR inputs. We see here from 1 through 16 and 17 through 32. Over here we have 16 XLR outputs, 1 through 16. And right above 15 and 16 here, it says main left and main right. So we know that when we're plugging in our main speakers, we're going to use these two channels. I'm going to get my first XLR plugged in there now. And I'm going to plug this into the back of my input on my speaker. After I have my speaker plugged in, I'm going to plug my XLR into input number 1. And the other end of that XLR will go into my microphone. Now there are a lot of different inputs and jacks on this mixer, of course. A lot of them do the same things. Like I said, there are 32 inputs here. However, each one of those just goes to their own separate input. Down here, we see we have red and white plugs. That's for our RCA aux in. So like I said, if we're plugging in a laptop or a phone to play music, we can plug our RCA cable in here. And when we go up on top, we're going to see how you control that as well. Let's jump on top of this X32 to see how we can get things working. Now that we have everything plugged into the X32, we're going to take a look at some of the controls. So the first thing we see over here is our channel strip for each individual channel. We have inputs 1 through 16 here. And because this is a digital board with motorized faders, we have 17 through 32 using those same faders. And we can click on the button here that says 17 to 32. And that automatically moves us to 17 through 32. Now these little screens here, what we call a scribble strip, you can label those for everything that you want. So that's a really easy way to know what each channel has assigned to it. We also have an aux in or USB FX returns, which we'll look at some controls in there after. But we're going to start right away with our channel 1 microphone. If we go over here, we see our main slider as well. This needs to be up so that we can send signal to our main speaker. So with channel 1 selected, I have my gain control up here. Now there's only one gain control on the whole board. So whichever channel we have selected is what we're going to control with that gain knob. We can also click on view in this screen here, and that's going to send our gain and controls to the screen over here. If I click on home, that sends me back to my main home screen for whichever channel is selected. So if I pick up my microphone, and if I turn my gain up, check, 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 we start seeing signal come here in our level 1 meter. We start seeing signal show up here in our channel that is selected, and we start seeing some signal show up on our screen as well. Check, check, check. So with my main already up, and now I'm seeing I'm getting signal, I can unmute channel 1, check, 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 and I can move up my fader, check, 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 and now we can hear my voice coming out of the speaker as well. So very basically, that is how we get signal coming from a sound source or an input into the back of the board and then through channel strip over to the mains out to our speaker. That is what we call our signal path. The signal is routed from one point to its destination. Now in this particular board, we're going to look at where the RCA jack, the aux in, gets routed through here. So like I said, over here we have an aux in button. If we click on that, that gives a new set of controls here. And this aux in on the X32 is defaulted to these channels right here. aux 5 and aux 6. I have labeled them as aux in so that it's easy for us to recognize where they are. Now these two are connected together because we have our two inputs, our left and right. So whenever you mute or unmute or move the fader, they move as a set. And once again, that signal gets sent directly through the mains, through the speakers. So this is where we would control music coming in through that RCA jack. Now here's the back of our PreSonus board. We have our power cord plugged in. we need to plug in here where it says main output. Now, if you notice, there are XLR outputs and a 1/4" jack. So we could plug either one in. We have XLR here set up going to my speaker. So I'm going to plug into my main output. And then I'm going to take my inputs. Right above that, we have channels 1 through 8 with XLR inputs. Then we have some stereo channels over here with different input jacks. But we're going to start right here with mic 1. I'm going to plug my XLR in, which is plugged into my microphone on the other end. And we're going to pop up top and see how this one works. Now with this mixer powered on, we see we have each individual channel strip set up along here with channels 1 through up to 15, 16. We have 4 auxiliary outputs for monitors, and then we have our main slider or volume over here on the far right. Up here we have a set of meters, and these meters show us different things depending on what is being routed to them. If I want to see what signal is coming in each channel, I can go over here and click input, and this shows me signal that is coming in through each input. If I want to go back to see those settings that were there before, I need to click select on an individual channel, and this gives me a series of controls that apply to this channel. Like here we have equalizer, we have compressor, we have a high pass filter, and some other effects that we don't really need to worry about right now, but this is where we can have the controls for each individual channel. So I'm going to go back to input, and I'm going to start up here with my gain control. And if I talk into a microphone, check, 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 we see I'm getting gain. If I turn that down, there's less gain. If I turn that up, there's more gain. So with that gain up, I can go down and unmute my channel, and I can move up my slider, check, 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 check. And now my voice is coming through the speaker as well. So again, very simple setup, gain up, unmute, turn up the slider. As long as our main volume is up, everything should work out well. Now on this mixer as well on the back, channel 15, 16 also had RCA input. If you had a computer or a phone for music or any other device plugged into that, you would just run that through 15, 16 with the same steps that I just did. Turn up the gain, unmute, turn up your slider. Now on this smaller Behringer board, we have 4 XLR inputs. It does go up to 12 channels with 5, 7, 9, and 11 being part of stereo channels. But once again, we don't need to worry about those so much right now for our purpose for what we are doing. Now, if we notice, our main output is just a 1/4" jack. There's no XLR output. So we'll need one of those cables we looked at earlier that is a 1/4" to XLR to plug it into our speaker. So I'm gonna get that plugged in now. Now that that is plugged in, we're going to move forward with plugging in our microphone. So like I said, we have our 4 XLR inputs. I'm going to take my microphone cable and plug it into channel 1. And again, we see we have channel strips. Now this one has all of our controls in each channel strip. We have our separate EQ controls. We have separate gain, volume for each individual channel. So, and then over here on our right, we once again have our main control slider. So if we turn that up, now on channel 1, we have this little black knob here is our gain. So I can turn that up. And down here is our volume for each individual channel. Now we can see that we don't have sliders for each individual one, but generally at the bottom of the channel strip is always going to be your volume control. So if I talk into my microphone and turn up my volume, check, 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 we now hear that we are getting volume out of the speaker as well. Now, if we look over here, we also have inputs for our RCA, white and red jack. We have an in right there. So if we plug that in, we see that it says CD tape. So we need to come down here to CD tape to mix and click that button so that what's coming in here is also going to our main mix to get sound out there. And once again, that was how you'll work if you have a laptop or another device playing music plugged into your RCA coming through the speakers there. So now we know how to get sound out of each of these 3 mixers. Now, as you can see, there are a lot of different controls on each one of these, and those will just be as we dive deeper into what the capabilities of these mixers are. But for our purpose, for just getting sound, for doing sound for simple things at a school, those are the steps that you can follow to have things working and running for you.